3 months ago, I was at 22% body fat. Today, I'm sitting around 14. I have 12 weeks to get down to my goal of 9% body fat before summer. Here's exactly what I am doing right now to get there.
So right now, my biggest focus is tracking my macros. Every day, I'm making sure that I am in a calorie deficit. I've tried a few apps to track my macros in the past, and the one that I like the most is MacroFactor. There's 3 reasons why I really like MacroFactor. The first is that it kind of gives you like a customizable coach. It uses an algorithm to track my weight and calculates my energy expenditure. That way it makes sure I'm always in a calorie deficit and losing weight. The other thing I like about it is it tracks my macros, so I can tell what I'm not getting enough of through my diet and can supplement or up those types of food. It also shows me what I'm averaging over the weeks and months so that I can see where I'm struggling and can focus on that area. Right now, in order to maintain weight, I need to eat 2,611 calories a day. So my target for this deficit is to eat 2,322. This will allow me to lose about half a pound per week, which I realize is a bit of a slow cut, but I want to make sure that I'm maintaining as much muscle as possible. This past month, I've averaged about 2,309 calories, so I'm right on par with what I'm supposed to be eating. I'm not focusing on my carbs or fats. I just focus solely on calories and protein. For protein, at the absolute minimum, I'm aiming to hit 0.7 grams per pound. However, my goal is to eat a bit higher than that every day. Ideally, I hit about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Right now, the MacroFactor app has me eating just over that at 187 grams per day. My biggest hack right now to make sure I'm staying on target is to fast in the morning. This way, I only really have to suffer until noon before I can eat what I want for the rest of the day, obviously within reason. And honestly, it's not even that bad in the mornings. 1, I'm kind of used to it, and 2, I have a coffee every morning, which suppresses my appetite and makes it much easier.
Beat 'em up just like it's WWW. Promise you, why would I trouble you? Yeah, look, you cannot see what's in front of you. You cannot see what's in front of you. Yeah, promise that you get to run into if you knew what's about to come to you. It's about to get real dangerous. 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 Yeah, watch out, pop out, black out.
So my goal with losing weight isn't just to be skinny. I want to get lean, but I also want to be muscular. Cutting down to 9% body fat is actually part of a bigger goal, and that is to bench press 225 while having a 6-pack at the end of the year. In order to accomplish this, I make sure that I'm weight training 4 times a week. My current workout split is rest day on Monday. On Tuesday, I do a push day. On Wednesday, I do a pull day. On Thursday, I hit my legs. Friday, I rest. And then Saturday or Sunday, one of the days, I do a full body day, depending on when I have the most time to focus on the workout. This works for me based on my work schedule. It may not be 100% optimal because I am working out 3 days in a row. I am hitting different body parts those 3 days though, so it's not that terrible. If you've watched any of my other videos, you would have heard that I'm getting my personal trainer certificate. Part of the specializations that I chose with the certificate was a bodybuilding specialist, and right now I'm doing that section of the course. So what I've implemented based on the knowledge that I've gained from that course is to focus on compound movements. So I've added a lot of compound movements to the core of my exercises: deadlifts, bench press, squats, dips, pull-ups. That being said, I still do isolated exercise for certain muscle groups. My main focus right now is to lift heavy and keep up my strength. One of the main points that this bodybuilding course is talking about is that how much you can lift on an exercise, like your 1 rep max, is important for putting on muscle, because the higher your 1 rep max is, the higher the amount of weight you'll be able to do for like a multi-rep set, leading to bigger hypertrophy gains. So right now I'm focused on building up that limit strength. Man, I still haven't gotten a new pair of shoes, so I'm gonna go try and find a new pair now.
I almost bought these, but I wanted a white sole. I don't like the green on these. I also can't tell if they're women or not. I don't know if you guys have that problem when you're buying shoes, but it's hard to tell the difference between man and woman shoes these days. So I found a pair of shoes. I'll show them to you in a second. Then I find a pair of blue light glasses. I'm going to go see if those help with my sleep. But before I go do that, I want to go over kind of the struggles that I've had during this cut. For starters, it's honestly kind of been a bit of a struggle mentally. I was one who started skinny, so anytime I'm cutting, I feel like I'm going back and losing progress, even though in the long run, I know it's gonna be worth it. Definitely feels like I'm losing all the progress that I just put on. I'm sure it feels the exact same way for someone who's bulking who started fat. Also, when you're in a cut, your muscles definitely don't look nearly as big, so that's been a bit of a struggle too. I also noticed myself getting quite a bit hungrier in the mornings while I was fasting. I'm gonna talk about how I solved this in the next point, but I definitely noticed my energy was way lower and I was getting hungrier a lot quicker, and the hunger was a lot more for about the past month, I would say. Aside from this, my protein intake hasn't been as high as I want it to be. So for the past month, my average protein intake has been 126.9 grams. Ideally, I'd be around the 184.9 area. However, right now it's only 0.7 grams per pound. I definitely want to get that higher, as during the cut, I definitely want to protect my muscle mass. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm also struggling with like the Red Bulls. I've got a bad habit of having 2 a day. It's not even the caffeine that I'm worried about, it's the sugar. It's definitely not the best way to consume my calories. Also, meal prepping kind of blows, honestly. I'm spending a lot of time making 2 YouTube videos a week right now, editing, working, and to add meal prepping on top of that usually happens late at night when I don't want to do it. I'm also not someone who likes cooking or doing the dishes, so it definitely kind of sucks. That being said, I'm doing it less than what I would be on a bulk, but I need to get more consistent with it. Sometimes I miss a few days and then I'm buying restaurant food, which is a waste of money, and it's also a little higher in calories, so it makes it a lot harder to stay within your diet. I got her like this leather pair. I definitely wouldn't buy a pair of white shoes that aren't leather, as they're a lot harder to clean. I've got it from the store that I've never heard about before. I gotta swap out my shoes right now. The ones I have on right now are falling apart.
Alright, I made it home. I never ended up getting blue light glasses. My business coach recommended them to me today. He said that his girlfriend's very knowledgeable in that area and to ask her a few questions before buying them. So I figured I'd better wait for her to get back to me just in case there's something I need to know about them. I want to make sure I get a good pair. As before when I was mentioning the things that I was struggling with, forgot to mention sleep. I got an average score of 58 out of 100 for the past 3 months on Aura, so I definitely need to bring that up. It's probably my biggest bottleneck in fitness and in life. Sleep's when your muscles grow, and if I'm not getting enough, then I'm definitely not optimizing my hypertrophy. A few things that are helping me stay on track and get over these problems that I mentioned earlier are: 1, the fitness accountability group I started on Discord. Being a leader in there means that I have to stay consistent with this cut, both in the gym and with my diet. It's really helped hold me accountable. If anyone's interested in joining that, I will link it down in the description of this video. It's completely free. It's on Discord. It's a space for anyone that's into fitness to stay accountable and reach their fitness goals. So if that sounds like it's of interest to you, I'll drop the link down in the description of this video. To fix being hungry in the morning, I did a refeed last week or a couple weeks ago now. And basically what that entailed was a few days of eating more. My hope was that this would give my metabolism a slight boost. It kind of gave me a break from the diet, and after 3 months that's definitely needed. To keep my protein up, I definitely need to keep protein bars and powder stocked. Although I don't want to make that my main source of protein, it definitely helps on those days where you're running short and need a quick snack. Aside from this, instead of buying 1 rotisserie chicken for 4 days, I'm now buying 2. That way I'm getting more protein from Whole Foods. And that has helped a lot, as 1 meal is around 60 grams of protein and it is not very high in calories either. I also only have 2 shaker bottles, so I got to make sure they're washed. So I got to make sure I'm doing the dishes frequently so that I can have a protein shake when I need one. That's sometimes my biggest bottleneck, is not having a clean shaker bottle. When it comes to Red Bulls, it's hard when the store is right across the road. In Canada, I didn't even have that bad habit because it's like a 10-minute drive to the store, and it was just a pain in the ass. So I wasn't ever tempted to get Red Bull, and I just never bought any when it was at the store. So I can definitely see that habit going away once I'm back home. However, for now, I definitely failed at going cold turkey with them. So my goal is to go from 2 of those small cans a day to 1 big one and then 1 small one, and then eventually cut off. Next time I go grocery shopping, I'm going to get a pack of the 4 big ones, and then I'll be starting that. In terms of meal prepping and how I mentioned I was struggling with that earlier, the biggest thing with that is probably going to be adding it to my calendar. My calendar literally runs what I do. If something's on the calendar, that's what I'm doing in that time that I set aside. So I just need to add the meal prep to it instead of just trying to fit it in when I have a free moment in the evening. Same with the dishes. Between these 2 things, it'll definitely keep me on the right track in that regard. If you guys are interested in the calendar, a link will pop up here that you guys can click on if you want to watch that video. For dinner tonight, we got ourselves some steak and some rice. If you've watched a few of my videos, you'll notice that I eat a lot of the same thing. It's part of my secret to keeping my calories in check, is having boring meals over and over. Holistically, for health, it's probably not the greatest thing. However, it works great for cutting. That's one of the nice things that I like about the app that I use to track my calories, is I can see where I'm coming short on my micros, so I can keep an eye on that if something's off there. However, right now with my current diet, everything seems to be doing pretty good. In terms of cardio, I honestly hate it. Up until a couple weeks ago, I honestly never did any. That said, I do love walking and being outside, so I definitely have put in my fair share of walking, especially down here in Argentina. I walk everywhere. During that B-roll section a few minutes ago in this video, I did a probably 2-hour walk there. So I do like doing that for cardio. That said, I do have a hard time fitting that in all the time. I'm very busy. So getting in an hour or even half an hour of walking is difficult some days for me. So one thing that I actually just started doing 2 weeks ago now was I bought a jump rope, and I'm doing kind of like a HIIT style workout with it. That burns a lot of calories in a short amount of time. So it's definitely a better option for me. So I've been doing that for 2 weeks now. Honestly, I haven't really been doing it long enough to say whether it's had a positive or negative impact on my life. I can't see it having a negative impact. It's a quick and easy way to get my cardio in. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. If you want to see my most recent video, make sure to click up here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click down here, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.